Hey y'all, it's Cody here with How I See It, where I inspire you every day to see the world how I see it. Let's create this super cute bumblebee arrangement. And this is actually flat on the back, so it can kind of even like hang on a wall or like on your fence if you like. You can plant flowers in it. But it's also flat on the bottom, so it makes a great just arrangement. This container actually came from Hobby Lobby in 2025. Then I have a variety of different florals from Michael's as well. That's where the majority of my florals came from for this project. So let's go ahead and get started on making. So I do have me a piece of soft foam that I'm going to glue into my container. Got me some hot glue here. I'm just going to mush that down in there. Now you can always create something in the container and just don't glue in your foam. That way you can change it out every season, right? Or every year, or whenever you want to change out your items, you have the opportunity to do that. All right. So now I want to go ahead and I want to work in with my larger florals first. Let me grab my tray here, my little Lazy Susan, so that I can spin this around easily for us to work on and see. So I do have this bush here that came from Michael's as well. Very, very pretty. And this is a budget bush. It was $9.99 in 2025. I do believe it was on sale. I always like stock up on the solid colored florals when they're on sale in the stores, right? Always smart to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my largest flowers and I'm going to place one right there in the middle, just like so. And then that's going to give me a nice guide for working around the rest of my design. And what I like to do is all these florals come straight up and down on the bush. So I take my fingers and I just kind of bend the stem a little bit so that they kind of dance around. So I've got my one there, and that's going to be this as tall as my arrangement is going to be. And then I'm going to do one on one side of it, a little bit lower. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, kind of matching the one that we already placed on the opposite side. So now we've kind of got a line going across. Then I'm going to grab another and place that one in there as well. So now we kind of have 5 of these florals, like so. This is my little foolproof guide, if you would, for creating an arrangement. And then I'm going to take my hot glue. You could use a glue pot if that's what you like to use. But for me, the majority of people, they always have a glue gun. So that's what I always opt to use anyway. So now I'm going to go right down in here in the front, a little bit shorter. Then I'll go back to the back. Same thing. And then we'll do the 2 sides. So I know I'm going to have to chop some of that off. One down there. And one down there. Right? Super simple to do once you break it down. You also don't use as much glue either, I feel, whenever you insert it after. All right, very pretty. We've got our florals all spaced out now. Now I'm going to grab this eucalyptus bush. This one was also from Michael's, and I have 2 of them to utilize for my project. Super budget friendly as well. And now we're going to go through and we're going to kind of fill in everywhere where we have inserted one of these flowers. We're going to kind of go in the middle of those pieces. Just kind of in between. And that's going to help us fill in any of our space. Even up here in the top. I'm not pushing that one so far down that it gets lost. We want it to still be visible up there at the top. just like so. And then we're gonna do the same thing. So I'm just gonna squirt in my glue. I need another glue stick. And I do use a very high temp glue gun as well for my projects. Right? So now you can see how that kind of filled in all of that space. Next I have a white seeded greenery bush. This one is also, of course, from Michaels as well. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim off one of these. And this is going to help give us some fun movement to our design. Now that my base is getting pretty full, like down there at the foam, it's harder for me to get the glue gun down in there. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to choose to add just a little bit of glue to my pieces before I stick those down in there. And I'm kind of doing the same thing. Once you get those first couple florals in, it kind of gives you a nice guide for where to place everything else. All right, just like that. Very simple, very pretty as well. Now, the last thing that I want to add in, this is not from Michaels, but I did have in my collection some of these beaded picks, and I thought that they would be pretty, just to add a little bit of Bumblebee fun to this. And I'm going to clip this in two and insert it into my design. Some glue on there. Just to really tie together our Bumblebee elements. And then, you know, if you found something else that you could use, so many cute little Bumblebee things out there. Endless possibilities. Or you can leave it as is. I like it with just the flowers also. But I had these and I said, hey, let me use these up. So I'm going to do one on the front and one on the back. Then I can just kind of pull some of these beads throughout and kind of blend it all together. Just like that, y'all. I think it's super cute. Hope you guys enjoyed this and that you're following along for all of your creative needs. If you wanted to, you can of course add some moss down at the bottom, but for me, I think I'm just gonna pull some of this eucalyptus down like that, and then you can't even see that moss down in there. Hope you all enjoyed this. Y'all be kind to one another, and I'll be seeing y'all soon. Bye, y'all.